What's going on, everyone? Today I'm going to be reviewing your trades. A lot of you have sent me your trades on Discord, and a lot of you are posting your trades in the trade chats that we have going on. So I'm just going to review your trades today. I'm going to go through some of my DMs, going to go through some of the channels. We're going to see some trades that win. We're going to see some trades that I've lost, and we're going to give you some advice. So this was submitted here by PJ. Shout out to PJ. He's been in the Discord for a long time. If you guys haven't joined the Discord, join with the link down below. We've got about 8,000 members today, almost 9,000 I think, and we're growing every day. It's a great community, it's free, so join up. Lots of people in there giving some good advice. Shout out to all my moderators. Shout out to Thunder, he's a great admin. And let's get right into it. Okay, so this first trade was submitted by PJ. He or she was trading NZD CAD, and I guess this trade failed here. So we're gonna go look this up on the charts and we'll be back in a second. Okay, so what I got going on from this trade is on the 4 hour, they saw this nice little uptrend going on. Price was coming down to this uptrend and we had a break of structure on the lower time frame. So on the 15-minute, we had this nice little downtrend going on in the 15-minute, and price broke above this last previous high. As we can see, it's marked out on the MACD here. Here are my MACD settings, just for you guys to see. Turn the signals off and just change the colors. Actually, I'll just quickly do this. That's how I like to have it. Anyways, so price broke here, and usually the way I trade, when price comes back in to test this liquidity zone, we usually look for a buy. So let's see, first thing I do to check if a trade went right or wrong, I go to the 4 hour, see if you are in an uptrend or a downtrend. So we're clearly in an uptrend here, so that's great. Price has been moving up. And if we go to the 15-minute, what I can say about this trade is this was an unfortunate trade. It just happened to not work out. But one thing I don't like to do is when there is a really big push out from the break of structure, price has moved in already way too far away from my zone. I expect if it does come down back to my zone where I want to buy, there's going to be a lot of selling pressure because it's already moved so far away. All right, what I do want to see is, for example, let me use replay mode here, is something like this. We see a break of structure and then a nice little pullback here, right? Let's say here, this is where I would enter my trade. But because price has already moved so far away and then comes back, you know, it has to break all these little lower time market structures to get back down to my zone. So there's going to be a lot of selling pressure, so there's no reason to look for a buy there. Also, as we can see, we had this big imbalance or gap right here. There wasn't a lot of price action that went on in this area. We just kind of had a nice impulse down. So when price did come back up into this zone, it's already filled out this kind of imbalance that happened here. So there is no reason that price should continue higher, and price will most likely continue down back to this long-term trend line that we marked out here. So like we have this long-term trend going on. It's very unlikely that price will just reverse from this area because we want to see price come back down to this consolidation here before moving back up. So this one failed, and that is my criticism for this trade. If you guys need a broker, sign up with Henko Trade. Link will be down in the description below. You can sign up with as big as 500 leverage and have spreads as low as 0 pips. You can also open an account with as little as $10. If you guys want to sign up with Henko Trade, link will be down below. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so we are here in my Discord. If you haven't joined already, please join. The link is down below. We have a lot of members in here helping each other out, and it's great to see. So this is the main chats here that I like to go through. So we're just gonna look through this questions chat because usually people post some setups here, like this for example, and we're going to look for a trade that has maybe failed or done really well, and we're gonna review it. Interest has some trades going on here, very nice. Interest is one of the mods. They're doing great. See here, so Stun01 has a trade here. It looks like they had a break structure here, and let's see, let's check out this trade. We'll be back. Okay, so we're here on EuroCAD, and we're just gonna compare this trade real quick. Looks like that was this here. Okay, cool. This is a good trade to look at. So here we had a break of structure, right? And then we have a nice little retest coming back down into this liquidity zone here. So normally I would look for an entry here, but it looks like if we scroll out, this could be a, yeah. Okay, so this is where a lot of traders end up messing up. So we are in this higher time frame downtrend. On the 4 hour, we are in a downtrend. On the 1 hour, we are in a downtrend. On the daily, we are also in a downtrend. So this trade has not worked out because you have all this bearish momentum on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily, and then you're looking for a buy. It's not going to work out how you expect, and that is what happened here today. It's a great setup, but it would only be good if we were looking bullish on the higher time frames as well. But this is something I would look for as long as the higher time frames also match with what I'm looking for, because this would have been a nice little setup, because we have a breaker structure. Price has come up. You know, if it had a little tap in, a nice little reaction spike off of that, I would have probably entered. But because of the higher time frames, I'm not going to enter this trade. And as you can see, you know, all this bearish momentum, it's just going to go straight down. Okay, so we're just going to keep looking through the Discord, and we are going to see if we have any trades. Okay, here, so we see a setup by Nog. Hi, did I miss an entry on the setup? So for example, they have saw that there was a trend break and a break of this higher low, and they were expecting the price come back. See, this is another example. What is this? EU stocks 50. EU stocks 50, CFD. Cool. So this is an example of just like I showed, when price breaks a trend, right? So it broke the trend and you're looking for it to break this higher low. We marked the lowest area here, which it did. We have this imbalance going on here, and price has now filled this imbalance and broke even lower. So this is one of the trades where I say, you know, if it's already extended, you know, this far out, it's highly unlikely that price is going to return to fill these unfilled orders or come back to this liquidity zone here. It's very unlikely. What you do want to see is price break and like come back about here. If it doesn't come back like shortly after the break, then it's highly unlikely that it's going to come back. Like this was an order block here. It was a nice area for price to come back to, but price was so bearish. You know, if price started coming back here, I would not expect to take a trade, because it's already filled all these orders down here. It's already continued all this area, and now it has hit this demand zone down here, and now price should return back up here, but not to actually sell off, right? Yeah, so basically when price extends very far from your break, like after price breaks this higher low, you do want to see a nice little retracement like here. And then if it comes back, then I would take a buy, because you know it still has to come down to this lower support or demand right here. But other than that, this price or this trade already extended so far down. If we did see price start to come back up, price has already, you know, came down to this demand zone. It doesn't have to come back down again. And especially because it looks like we are in an uptrend, right? So we are on a 4-hour uptrend. So price is most likely going to continue going higher, right? Especially because we have this kind of higher supply area up here. So yeah, I wouldn't look to take a sell there personally. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, here we have a trade actually made by one of my admins, Thunder. This is a really good trade. Checked it out. We have a nice little downtrend that was going on here. Price was kind of trending back and forth for a little bit, and then we had this nice little breaker structure here. Price made a nice push up, and then as you can see, price came back into some liquidity right here. We also have this consolidation going on here, so it acts as a nice support area. And then he took a buy right there. Had a really tight stop loss. I wasn't sure exactly what it was. Looks like it was probably about that big there. Cool. And then, so yeah, that was a nice little sniper entry for him. This looks like a really good trade. This was a really good trade, executed very perfectly. If we go to the higher time, for instance, we are on the 15-minute, we can jump to something like the 15-minute. And it does look like we are, you know, trending nicely back and forth. I wouldn't really call this an uptrend or a downtrend. We're kind of moving sideways, so this was a good opportunity to take a buy. And if you held it even higher, it would have been obviously a bigger risk reward, but you take your money and you run. So that was really good. We're going to review probably a couple more trades, and then, okay, we're going to look at one more setup here. What y'all think about this setup? Let's see. Looks like this is US dollar Swiss franc. Okay, so we had a nice little downtrend going on here, a break of the structure, a nice little pullback into some liquidity, and we're looking for a buy. We're gonna go check this trade out right now. USD CHF. Okay, so looking at this trade, it looks like they were looking for a buy down there. Okay, so this is what I would call a kind of late entry to the trade. Price did actually end up reacting off of this liquidity and demand zone here, but I would have taken a trade a lot earlier. So here we had a break of structure. This is the last lower high. Price broke that, and see how price never extended too far. Price came all the way up here and then came down. I wouldn't have taken the trade, but price made a nice little push. We have some green candles above, a nice little pullback, right? So now this is where I would look to take a buy in some liquidity. So we have a lot of candle wicks going on there. We have this little consolidation zone. So I would look to take my entry somewhere between here, which price did come down and spike into a little bit right there. So you could have grabbed something very small, like a 10 pip stop loss or so. Personally, I'm starting to use a little bit bigger stop losses. Helps me win a little bit more trades. So I usually stick 10 to 15. And then with a stop loss, this trade for me probably really would have failed. I usually set my targets a little bit higher. I most likely would have targeted this top up here. So this trade probably would have failed for me. Just to show you guys, this stuff isn't perfect, but that is okay. But yeah, other than that, they looked like they entered here. This would actually be a late trade for me because price already broke the structure, came back in and touched. If it didn't continue higher past this high here, we know that price is still looking bearish because it didn't have enough orders. There wasn't enough buyers to push price above this top here. And then especially after breaking this here, you know that price is now forming this downtrend here, and price is beginning to fall weak and sell off. So I would not look to enter here. That was a little bit late. So yeah, we're gonna try to look at one more trade quickly. Okay, here, this trade looks pretty good. We have Euro US dollar. This was on the 22nd, so we're gonna check this out. Okay, so let me remove all this real quick. We had a Euro US dollar trade here on the 15-minute. We go back to the 22nd. So this trade looks really good, except I would say if we go to the 4-hour, yeah, we're kind of still in a downtrend on the 4-hour. The 1-hour though, the 1-hour was also kind of in a downtrend. See, these are the trades I tend to avoid, but still a really good trade just because we also did have perfect price action going on. So for example, we did have this nice little downtrend on the 15-minute. This was the last lower high. As you can see, price broke above and kind of like held here a little bit, which is good to show that price was holding. And then price came back in to grab more orders. We have this liquidity going on here. As you can see, price just tapped right into that. And then this could be a nice little order block here as well. So I personally wouldn't have taken this trade just because it looks to be like we are bearish on the higher time frames. But this was still a good trade nonetheless. We did have, if we look at some of the notes that they wrote, fib using institutional levels, cool, that was nice. Had the 6-2 zone. First entry was off balance and balance targeting 5-minute. Yeah, that was pretty good. We'll say that is a very good trade by, who was that? FX Analytics. I see them in here a lot. They do pretty good. Join the Discord. You have a lot of members in here that know what they're doing pretty well. So anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Join the Discord. We're doing pretty good in there. We have almost 9,000 members and we're growing every day. Other than that, that's it for the video. Have a good one.